Hello again everyone, welcome back to another video on this wonderful platform we call the internet. And today, well I just had a little idea to take a look back at the scam that never was, I guess you could call it. The Dreamworld MMO. So, for those who do not know, I feel it was about 2020 or so that this guy by the name of Eric Kaplan or something like that came up with an idea to build an MMO with infinite possibilities and anything you can possibly imagine, pretty much like Minecraft and all that, and it was every single type of genre of game or whatever is put into one and all that stuff. And then he recruited another guy who did software engineering for Google and Facebook or something like that, and just these two people alone are going to make a MMO unlike any other with just $10,000 and be able to hold millions of players in the game. And no, not like other MMOs like Warcraft, The Crew and so on and so forth where, you know, it's millions of players across several servers. No, millions of players in one server, which isn't even possible with the games I've just mentioned. So, yeah, and keep in mind, with just a $10,000 budget, and then of course the Kickstarter thing went, they got over their requirement, their $10,000 requirement, got $60,000 and all that, and yeah, and it's just so odd. So, yeah, and then of course they kept saying that they were going to, and of course with this they were actually using already bought assets, because you can buy assets to load in, but thing is though is that therefore just a building block, I guess you could say, to at least, how do I explain it, to, you know, show off what you're trying to do, like a demo I guess, and then, you know, you either change the assets yourself or make them yourself and put them in for what you're actually going to use. As for these guys, they thought it was a good idea to just buy almost every single asset that you can buy and just mash them up together. And yeah, and they use the default Unreal Engine model character. And well, did they change anything about that? Yeah, no, except for though they added nipples, if I remember correctly. This is one where they did that, so we're off to a good start. So yeah, so of course as the months went by and they said they're going to do things and this and that, and they kept on making excuse after excuse, I believe, and just kept on delaying stuff. And well, yeah. But however though, that was until they had an alpha demo, I guess you could say, ready to use. And oh yeah, you know. Pardon me. And well, it was apparently exclusive to anyone who was a backer, you know, donated money to support the development of the game. Now of course, obviously there's nothing wrong with crowdfunding, you know. Sometimes you need, especially if you're starting out, you need just a tad bit of money just to help you at the start, and alright, because, for example, Project Cars started out as a crowdfunding project, the first one, so yeah, you know. So yeah, so anyone who backed the game, or at least those who spent the most amount of money, got an exclusive key or whatever to, you know, play the alpha. However though, it wasn't just discreetly, you know, passed over for anyone who did it. No, it was uploaded to a Google Drive thing where pretty much anyone could get it, and then it was just handed out left, right and center. And well, let's just say that the alpha looks nothing like an alpha. It looks, in someone else's words, it looks like an alpha to an alpha. A pre-alpha, if you will. It has dodgy frame rates, textures that don't load in, no shaders that have been compiled or whatever, and all that. So you're just in this big open space with just a building here, a building there. Once again, just already made assets. However, the only thing they made on their own was this marble wall with the names of people who donated, put on there in the color gold. And yeah, so that's the only thing they made. Everything else is just an asset flip, really. So yeah, so that, the lagging, inconsistency with graphics, textures, shaders, you name it. So yeah, lighting was just off, you name it. And yeah, it was an absolute shit show. And now as we fast forward to 2025, where are they at, I wonder? It sounds like a rhetorical question, but it's not, because I actually do not know where they are up to. Are they into beta now? Is the game finally out? I actually do not know. It would be interesting to know, but I'm pretty sure after the whole fiasco with that quote-unquote alpha, that they just took the money and ran, you know. That's what I assume, at least. So yeah. Yay. There you have it. I really wonder what has become of Dreamworld now. So, if anyone does know, feel free to say in the comments. But yeah, once again, I'm pretty sure they've just called it quits and, you know, just ditched the whole thing, despite this being apparently the most ambitious MMO project to ever exist. So, yeah, there you have it. Anyway though, thank you for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe if you want to stay tuned for more videos, and I'll see you in the next one.